What if the thing holding you back from the life you've always dreamed of isn't some external obstacle, but something hidden deep inside you? Imagine that the struggles you face daily, the fears, doubts, and self-sabotage are not random. They're the result of an inner child, still carrying the wounds of your past. Carl Jung believed that true healing begins when we face these hidden parts of ourselves, the ones we've ignored or rejected. What if, in your search for healing, you've been unknowingly running away from the very thing that could set you free? Stay with me, because this truth could change everything. As we begin to dive deeper into the heart of this, I want you to think for a moment about something profound. What if the struggles you face every day, the emotional pain, the fear, the doubts are not just random occurrences, but the result of something deeply embedded in your past? Something that you may not even fully realize is still shaping your every decision, every relationship, and every reaction. Carl Jung, the great Swiss psychologist, spent decades exploring the intricacies of the human mind, and one of his most powerful discoveries was the concept of the inner child. This part of us, the vulnerable, innocent, and often neglected aspect of our psyche, holds the key to many of the unresolved pains that continue to shape our lives. But here's the thing, the wounds of our childhood don't just disappear. With time, they stay with us, tucked away in the deepest corners of our subconscious, affecting how we perceive the world and interact with it, often without us even realizing it. Imagine for a moment that you're carrying a heavy backpack, one that you can't see, but you can feel the weight of it with every step you take. This backpack is filled with everything from past trauma, neglect, emotional scars, and unhealed wounds. The weight of this invisible baggage, whether you realize it or not, influences your actions, how you respond to challenges, and how you see yourself and the world around you. What if I told you that, in many cases, this backpack is the unhealed inner child within you, still carrying the weight of those unresolved experiences? Jung argued that the experiences we have as children, whether we realize it or not, form the foundation of who we are. The messages we receive during childhood, from our families, from society, and even from our own interactions, shape how we view ourselves and the world. If those experiences were filled with neglect, emotional rejection, or even just the absence of proper nurturing, those wounds become the foundation for many of the issues we carry into adulthood. But why does this matter? Why does it seem like some people can move on from their past while others remain stuck in the patterns that have haunted them for years? The answer, according to Jung, lies in the way we suppress, ignore, and avoid the pain from our past. We are taught from a young age that to be strong, to be grown up, means to push forward, to move on, to let go. We are told that emotions are weaknesses, that vulnerability is something to be ashamed of, and that the pain of childhood should be buried and forgotten. But what happens when we bury this pain instead of healing it? Jung understood something profound. When we repress the pain of our past, we don't actually get rid of it. Instead, it becomes buried in the unconscious mind, where it festers and quietly influences our behaviors. The wounds of the inner child remain locked away, but they don't go away. Instead, they manifest in subtle, and often not so subtle, ways. You may find yourself reacting in ways that seem disproportionate to the situation at hand, feeling unworthy of love or success, or stuck in patterns of self-sabotage. These aren't random behaviors. They are the echoes of your inner child, still carrying the scars of a past that you've never truly allowed yourself to heal. Think back to those moments in your life when you felt triggered by something. Small, a comment from a friend, a situation at work, or a seemingly harmless interaction. If your reaction feels too intense or doesn't quite match the event, that's often a sign that something from your past is influencing you. These emotional triggers are not just random occurrences. They are your inner child's wounds resurfacing, desperately trying to get your attention. It's as if your inner child, that part of you that still feels small, helpless, or unloved, is reaching out, saying, "Please, hear me. Please, acknowledge me." Jung argued that these patterns of behavior, these emotional reactions that don't make sense, are not merely signs of weakness or immaturity. They are signs of a fractured psyche, an unconscious mind that has not fully integrated its past experiences. When we fail to engage with our inner child, when we refuse to acknowledge the hurt and fear that reside there, we remain stuck in the same patterns, repeating the same mistakes and often feeling trapped in cycles we can't escape. But here's the thing: this is not your fault. It's not because you're flawed or broken. It's because, from an early age, we were taught to suppress our emotional wounds, to hide our vulnerabilities, and to act as if everything is okay when it really isn't. Society teaches us to bury our inner child, to suppress the emotional needs we had as children, and to ignore the pain that still lingers within us. The problem is, when we do this, we allow these wounds to control us from the shadows in a way. We are taught to live in denial of our true selves, denial of our emotions, and denial of the child inside us that still needs love, validation, and nurturing. The deeper we bury this part of ourselves, the more it grows in power, silently guiding our actions and reactions. It's why we often find ourselves in relationships that feel unfulfilling or repeating the same patterns of behavior that we know aren't serving us. These are the effects of an inner child that has been neglected for far too long. But what if, instead of suppressing this part of you, you chose to embrace it? What if, instead of pretending the inner child isn't there, you stopped and listened to it? The truth is, the emotional wounds of our past won't heal until we allow ourselves to face them, until we take the time to nurture the child within us who is still hurting. This is where true healing begins, when we recognize the profound influence our inner child has on our lives, and when we finally give it the love, attention, and healing it so desperately needs. Jung's insight into the unconscious and the inner child reveals something profound. We cannot move forward until we heal the past. The unresolved pain of our childhood is not something we can simply outgrow. It stays with us, silently shaping who we are and how we act. Until we acknowledge the child within us, the wounds it carries will continue to influence our decisions, our relationships, and our sense of self-worth. But here's the most important part. Healing is possible. By confronting and nurturing your inner child, you can break free from these patterns, heal the wounds of the past, and begin to live a life that is truly yours. In the next section, we will explore how these buried wounds silently control not only your personal life, but also the world around you. Stay with me, because the truth you're about to uncover could change everything. If you're ready to face these hidden truths, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for the next step on this transformational journey. Have you ever wondered just how much of your life is really yours to control? You know, how much of your daily struggle, your repeated mistakes, and your emotional reactions are truly a reflection of who you are, and how much of it is just the echo of a past you've long since forgotten? It's a tough question, but it's one that touches on a truth Carl Jung uncovered years ago. What we don't acknowledge in ourselves, especially our deepest, unhealed wounds, ends up controlling us in ways we can't even see. We all have this inner child, this fragile part of us that still carries the hurt, the rejection, and the fear from our early years. It's not something that just disappears with time. No matter how much we grow or how much we try to move forward, the emotional scars from our childhood stay with us. They are buried in the deepest parts of our subconscious mind, silently dictating how we see ourselves, how we relate to others, and how we interact with the world. And this, my friend, is where the unseen consequences begin. At first, they're subtle. You might find yourself reacting to something small, like a casual comment from a friend, with more emotion than it deserves. It might feel like your reaction is a bit over the top, but you can't shake it. Or maybe you sabotage yourself at work, knowing full well you're doing it, but feeling completely powerless to stop it. These moments can feel like random occurrences, like life just happening to you. But in reality, they are the quiet influence of your inner child, still carrying around wounds you never fully processed. It's almost as if your subconscious mind, which Jung spent so much time exploring, doesn't have a sense of time. It doesn't know the difference between your past and present. So, even though you may think you've moved on from your childhood pain, your subconscious mind is still replaying those old stories, still reacting to those old triggers. Every time you get emotionally triggered, whether it's by something someone says, or by a situation that feels unfair, it's often your inner child reacting to something that feels eerily similar to a past experience. It's like your younger self is still sitting in the background, shaping your emotions and behaviors without you even realizing it. But here's the kicker. Your inner child doesn't just affect your emotions. It's not limited to things like anger, frustration, or sadness. It can also impact your body. Think about it. Stress, anxiety, and even physical pain can be symptoms of unresolved childhood trauma. Your body, like your mind, keeps track of everything you've been through. Every moment of emotional neglect, rejection, or hurt gets stored in your cells, in your muscles, and the tension you hold. But because we don't always make the connection between emotional pain and physical health, we go through life treating the symptoms, stress relief exercises, pain medication, therapy, without ever addressing the root cause. When we ignore our inner child, when we push those wounds down instead of acknowledging and healing them, we create a situation where those wounds keep growing. At first, they're small, but over time, they accumulate, turning into bigger, more complicated issues. The longer we keep our inner child locked away, the more insidious its influence becomes. You may feel like you're constantly running into the same problems, relationships that don't work, career goals you can't reach, fears you can't explain. It's like you're stuck in a cycle, unable to break free. You might even start to wonder why things always seem to go wrong, even when you do everything right. The truth is, you're not the problem. You're simply trying to live your life with a broken compass. Your inner child, the part of you that holds on to the unresolved pain from your past, is the one that's been controlling your actions, your fears, and your choices. It's not that you're flawed or that you don't have what it takes to succeed. It's that this unhealed part of you is still living in the past, making choices for you, reacting to situations with old, outdated patterns. Jung understood this deeply. He knew that when we refuse to address these hidden wounds, they take on a life of their own. Our minds and bodies become divided, fractured, unable to heal until we start acknowledging and integrating the past. And that's where the real cost of ignoring the inner child becomes painfully clear. We don't just remain stuck. We live in a state of denial, pretending everything is okay when it's not. We wear masks, we hide behind walls, and we act like we're fine. But inside, the hurt is still there. It's waiting for us to finally take the time to heal. But the consequences don't just stop at our personal lives. The way we interact with others is also deeply affected by these unresolved childhood wounds. When we feel threatened, when we feel rejected, or when we sense that someone doesn't understand us, we react not as the adult we are, but as the wounded child inside us. Our relationships become battlegrounds, not because of the people we're with, but because we're still fighting battles from the past. We are carrying these unresolved issues into every conversation, every interaction, and it shapes how we relate to others. We can't help but project our fears, our insecurities, and our emotional wounds onto the people around us. It's why we might push others away or sabotage our own happiness without realizing why. Jung's work on the unconscious mind reveals a truth that we all need to understand. What we suppress, what we ignore, what we fail to heal will always control us. From the shadows, it will influence our actions, our fears, and our sense of self-worth. The more we try to avoid this inner child, the part of us that needs love, care, and understanding, the stronger its hold becomes. And the longer we ignore it, the harder it is to break free from the cycle of self-sabotage and emotional reactions that don't seem to make sense. But here's the silver lining. This is not the end of the story. These consequences, though powerful, are not permanent. Once you recognize the deep impact your inner child has on your life, you can start to change the course. You don't have to live in reaction to the past anymore. Healing is possible, but only when you choose to face the wounds that have been controlling you. The moment you take that step, you break the cycle. In the next section, we'll talk about how to break free from this cycle, how to reclaim control of your life, and how to begin to heal the part of you that's been waiting to be seen and heard. Stay with me, because what you're about to discover will give you the tools you need to transform your life. If you're ready to step into your power, hit that subscribe button and keep following along on this transformational journey. The best is yet to come. What if the key to breaking free from your struggles isn't about fighting the world around you, but facing the world within you? What if the real rebellion against the past, against the pain, and against the patterns that keep you stuck is about embracing the parts of yourself that you've been running from? Carl Jung, the pioneering psychologist who spent years exploring the depths of the human mind, believed that true healing doesn't come from ignoring our pain or pretending it doesn't exist. It comes from facing it, from accepting it, from embracing the parts of ourselves that are still hurting, still vulnerable, and still in need of love. Now, I know this sounds intimidating. In fact, it's downright terrifying. After all, who wants to face the pain they've spent years trying to avoid? Who wants to confront those emotional wounds? Those memories that feel too heavy to even think about? But here's the truth. The very thing you're most afraid to face, the inner child that holds all your pain, is the very thing that can set you free. Imagine, for a moment, that you could take a step back and look at your inner child, not with judgment, not with shame, but with deep compassion. What would that look like? Imagine holding that hurt part of yourself, not with pity, but with understanding. Imagine telling the child within you, it's okay. You are enough. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of healing. What if, by embracing your inner child, you could finally begin to break free from the patterns that have kept you stuck for so long? Jung's work shows us that the first step to healing is acceptance. It's not about fixing ourselves or pretending the pain doesn't exist. It's about allowing ourselves to feel the hurt, to confront the fears, and to acknowledge the wounds that have been buried deep within us for years. It's about looking into the eyes of our inner child and saying, I see you, I hear you, and I'm here to help you heal. The moment you do this, something incredible happens. You begin to rewire the very patterns of your subconscious mind. You start to break free from the cycles of self-doubt, self-sabotage, and emotional reactions that have been controlling your life. You begin to take back your power. You stop living in reaction to your past, and you start living from a place of love, acceptance, and empowerment. But here's the truth. This isn't easy. It's not a quick fix, and it's not something that can be done overnight. The inner child is not a passive observer. It's an active force within you, and when you begin to engage with it, you'll likely be confronted with emotions and memories that you might not be ready for. But this is where the magic happens. This is where the true healing begins. Every time you allow yourself to feel what you've been avoiding, you create space for growth. Every time you step into that fear, you are one step closer to freedom. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that healing should be gentle, that it should be easy. But healing is messy. It's uncomfortable. It challenges us in ways we don't expect. But this is where the breakthrough occurs. When you finally allow yourself to confront your deepest pain, you begin to reclaim your life. You stop being a prisoner of your past, and you begin to live from a place of choice, rather than reaction. Carl Jung's teachings show us that true healing comes when we integrate all parts of ourselves, the light and the shadow, the conscious and the unconscious, the adult and the child. By embracing the parts of you that have been hiding, by nurturing your inner child, you begin to heal the fractured parts of your psyche. You stop living in reaction to the past, and you start creating the life you want. So, how do you begin this process of healing and freedom? The first step is to stop running, stop avoiding, stop pretending that everything is fine when it's not. You have to make the choice to face the pain, to sit with the uncomfortable emotions, and to embrace the parts of you that you've been hiding. I know it's not easy, but here's the thing. You've been carrying these wounds for so long, and you've survived them. Imagine what would happen if you finally allowed yourself to heal them. Imagine what it would feel like to let go of the shame, the guilt, the fear, and the self-doubt that have been holding you back. Imagine a life where you are no longer controlled by your past, but where you are free to make new choices, to live with authenticity, and to step into your true power. This is your rebellion. It's not about fighting the world. It's about fighting the parts of yourself that have been holding you back. It's about reclaiming your life from the past and choosing to live fully, authentically, and unapologetically. But how do you know if you're ready for this? If you're still reading, if you're still here, I believe you are. The first step is the hardest, but it's also the most powerful. The moment you decide to face your inner child, to embrace the pain, and to begin the process of healing, you take back control of your life. You start to break free from the patterns that have been keeping you stuck. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share with you in the next part is the ultimate truth, the final revelation that will change the way you see yourself and your past. This journey of healing and transformation is just beginning. And trust me, you're not alone in this. You've already taken the first step simply by being here. So, hit that subscribe button and let's continue this journey together. The best part is just around the corner. Here's the ultimate truth. You've always had the power to heal. Everything you've been searching for, freedom, love, peace, has been inside you all along. Carl Jung's wisdom reveals that true healing comes not from fixing yourself, but from embracing and integrating your inner child. By facing the wounds, acknowledging your pain, and nurturing the child within, you unlock your true power. You are not broken. You never were. The key to your transformation has always been within reach. It's time to reclaim your life, heal the past, and create the future you deserve. Stay with me. This journey has just begun.